So for this self-assessment tutorial, you are going to be subtracting binary numbers, and you are going to go through a starter activity of converting binary, hex, and denary. I'll be showing you some worked examples, and then I'll show you some questions and the answers. Okay, so you should have some background knowledge of what binary is and how to convert binary numbers, and hex, and also denary. Okay, so moving on, that's your starter activity. I strongly recommend that you pause the video, because obviously you're not going to get enough time to do all of this. I'm going to try and move on fast so that we can cover as much as possible in the shortest time possible. So whenever you are given a task, please pause the video and complete the task, and then play the video, because straight after that I'll be showing you the answers. So that said, we're moving on to the answers for this start activity. So those are the answers. See what you got right and what needs improving. These are the answers here, and there, and there, and this is how I've done it. And we're moving on now. Yeah, you can pause the video and cross-check your answers, of course. So there's going to be now, of course, if you want to read through the text that you've been given, this text here, feel free to read through it. Okay, but the main things to always remember is that whenever you have a number whereby the top value is a 0, you're gonna have to borrow some numbers from the left column. For example, if you have a 0 here, minus 1, you're gonna have to borrow some numbers here. Now, as you can see the arrow here, when we borrow values from the left column, this 1 will then turn into 0. But the one that you borrowed from here is gonna split into 2, so you have 2 1s instead. Okay, so these 2 1s minus 1 minus this 1 here, you're left with a 1. So this one and this one will cancel, and you're left with a 1 here, which you write down there. Now, moving on to the left column, you have the 0 here that was left behind, and another 0, so you have a 0 there. So that's how it is when you borrow. Each time you borrow a value from the left column, it splits into 2. Okay, you must always bear that in mind. So we're gonna move on now. I have an example here, 101, that is basically a 5. Okay, minus 10, which is a 2. Okay, so 5 minus 2 should give us a 3. Now the binary code for 5, 2, and binary code for, hang on, let me write this. Now 5 minus 2, 5 is 101, okay, and 2 is 11, okay. So minus those, they should give you, or rather 2 is 1 and 0, okay. Alright, so we should have an answer of 3, which is 1 1. Okay, these numbers you see up here, if you didn't watch the video of converting binary values, what you see up here are called placement values. We use them to find numbers that when added will give us the value, the denary value. For example, 5 here, when you add 4 plus 1, it gives you 5. So put zeros elsewhere. Anyway, subtracting. So 1 here minus 0 is 1. Okay, that's our answer. However, we have a 0 here, this 0 here, minus 1. So obviously 0 is smaller than 1, so we're going to have to borrow values from the left column. When you're borrowing these values, it crosses out this 1 and leaves it as a 0. But when the 1 is transferred to the right column, it splits into 2, and it becomes 1 and 1, 1 1. Okay. So then we're going to cancel this one here with that one there, and we are left with 1 as our answer. Okay, as you can see here, we cancelled these 2 ones. We cancelled one of them, leaving us with a 1, which we brought down here as our answer. Okay, there's 1 already there, and then because here we have zeros, we leave a 0, put a 0 here. So our answer is 0, 1, 1. Whenever a value, so feel free to read through this. Yeah, read through this. Okay, I put it up for a reason. Is for those who are taking this a bit more seriously and you have a book, you can actually write this as your notes, part of your notes. Okay, so that's the example we have. If there's a 0 and there's 1 underneath, you borrow 2 ones from the left, and this is cancelled as a 0. Okay, so we're moving on. That's task 1. If you can pause the video, please, and then try task 1. C is a large number, so just remember the principles. Taking you back, that's how it's done. So I'm going to move on to the answers in a minute. Okay, so here we go. Those are the answers for task 1. If you did it, well done. There's an example here where you have 1, 0, 0, 0 and 0, 1, 1, 1. So how do you subtract that? Again, we follow the basic principles. Keep borrowing 1 from the left column. Now this is interesting because as you can see, that's a 0 minus 1. Okay, 0 minus 1. Then it tries to borrow from the left column, but this also has a 0. Okay, minus 1. So this one also borrows from the left column. Again, there's nothing there. Again, the borrowing continues up until you reach a 1. Now we have a 1 here. This becomes a 0, and that 1 is going to split into 2. Okay, when it splits into 2, you are left with a 1. Okay, you have these 2 ones here. Okay, it's one of these ones that is borrowed towards the right side. Okay, when it gets here, it splits into 2, and then we get one of the ones from here again, once again, and then you borrow it, push it over to the right column. Now it's gonna again split into 2. Then you have 2 ones. Okay, and then we cancel this one with that one, and we write a 1 there. That's what we did here. And then because we have 1 and a 0, because the other one left went over to that side, we have now 1 minus 1, okay, which gives us a 0. And again 1 minus 1 gives us a 0, and then the zeros, because it's far right, had a 1 which was cancelled out. So now we have 0 and a 0, which gives us 0. Okay, but when you are borrowing a 1 and then lending another 1 to the right column, like we see here, it's only one of the ones that goes. Okay, and the other one stays. So you don't take both ones to the right column. No, you don't. It's only one. It's little 1 here. It's only one that is sent. So it's cancelled into the little 0, which is why you saw this 1, 0, 1, 0, and then the 1, 1. So please pay attention to this. Read through those notes. Pay attention to how this was done, because it's going to get a lot tougher from now on. Alright, so I'm moving on to the questions. Alright, so I'm moving on to the answers in a minute. 3, 2, 1. Those are the answers. Okay, borrowing 1 from the other side, then it splits into 2. If you got this right, well done. Always try and show your working like this, because then you're showing the examiner that you know what you're doing. Okay, show them that you borrowed the 1, then the 1 cancelled, and then it moved to the other side, and so forth. Yeah, so moving on now from here. Okay, if you got it right, well done. I have another example here. Mixed numbers. We have hexadecimal value, which is F, and you have 111. Okay, in binary. Best thing to do is to convert F to binary. Okay, now remember F is 15, and the binary value for F is 1111. Okay, so after finding the binary value for F, we're going to write them down here. When you're writing these values, always start from right towards the left side. Okay, as you see in the arrow. So you write 1 1 1 1, and then 1 1 1 and 0 right at the end here. Okay, so this remains a 7, and that is 15. So our answer obviously has to be 8. So 1 minus 1 is 0, minus 1 is 0, 1 minus 1 is 0, 1 minus 0 is 1, which is 8. Okay, that's our answer, 8. Alright, so when you get hexadecimal values or ordinary numbers, convert them to binary and then do the subtraction after. Alright, so moving on. So you have some questions here. Converting them to binary first and then subtracting. Okay, that's the way of doing it. So if you can pause the video, pause it so you can finish off this work, the tasks, and then in 3, 2, 1 I show you the answers. First set of answers for A. Of course, like I said, now remember one thing, when you are converting these values, now remember first time I told you you don't have to write these 2 zeros at the end, far left, but in this case you leave the zeros. Okay, do not remove them. So 3 will not be 1 1, it will be 0 0 1 1. Okay, that is 3. Okay, for this here, this part of your that part of your hexadecimal value, and A is a 10, so it's 1 0 1 0. Okay, so we have 0 0 3 1 0 1 0. Okay, now the advantage you have of writing all of this, now we can easily tell how many digits are, how many bits are here. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 bits. So if we count 1 2 3 4 5 bits, okay, this number is bigger than 5 bits. So now we can cancel the zeros. Okay, these zeros you can remove them. Okay, because either way they will fit. Okay, they will all match. Now if you're gonna write this value in the table, we start from right towards the left side. So we start by writing a 0, which is 0 was there, and then you have a 1 there, and you have a 0 there, and then 1 and 1 and 1. Okay, so you don't have to write these 2 zeros at the end, they're not required. And then you write this value here. Okay, you bring it down, this here, like that. Okay, so it's 1 0 1 0 1. Okay, writing from right to left. So now they're ordered well, so we're gonna put a 0 here, we're gonna put a 0 there, just so we can even up all the binary digits. Then you do the subtraction. Okay, you do the subtraction. Alright, so moving on, the answer for that is like this. I've already explained that already, I've explained it, so you just watch the answers. If you got it right, well done. And here's another one over there, the C, and that's D. Okay, C is right there, that's B, 1 1 1 0 1 1. A was, answer was 1 0 0 1 0 1. Okay, and that is C 0 0 1 0, pretty simple. And that is D 1 0 0 0. So that marks the end of subtracting binary numbers. Thank you so much, and I hope that you've enjoyed it and learned quite a lot. See you in the next video. Thank you and have a blessed day.